Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Open That Door podcast. I'm your host, Hollis. Hello to my viewers on YouTube, my listeners on the old podcast channels, stations, apps. I'm doing a nighttime episode because I've been so busy and I skipped last week. I gave myself permission to take the week off because I was prepping all week and then doing over the weekend my first TEDx talk, which I'm super excited about. It's definitely been on my bucket list to do a TEDx talk, and the opportunity came pretty quickly. I found out about one and applied, and it was really a quick turnaround. So I spent the last few weeks writing my TED talk and massaging it and getting my slideshow made and my props. And it was in an old town of mine, not my hometown, but a town I lived in from ages 4 to 7, Pocatello, Idaho. I met my best friend Sonia there, and she still lives there with her children and her mom. And so I went back and they came to my TEDx talk at Idaho State University. It was wild. My mom went to that university when I was 4 so she could get her bachelor's degree. So it was returning to my old stomping grounds where it was very rural and we could run amok as young children. We walked to school every day. It was like a mile walk, and we just didn't think anything of it because that was how life went back in the day. A lot of freedom to roam. And my talk was called The Power of Self-Permission. And of course, I'll share the link when it's ready on the TEDx YouTube channel in about a month's time. But it was great. I was nervous. I do have stage fright. I know I've been an actress for 25 years and I've run arts organizations and been on stage in front of thousands of people. And I still get really afraid to go on stage. And I really liked my talk. I really like my talk, and I'll keep building on it as a keynote speech to share around the country. But I had this feeling the whole time as I was prepping, I would have my talk nailed, and then I would go into these panic moments, like I'm going to forget what I'm saying. I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. And it was weird because it's like I knew that was going to happen, and I finally just surrendered to like it might happen. And then it did happen. And you may or may not, when you see the video, you may or may not be able to tell where, but I'm proudly and boldly sharing that I completely went blank on stage. We didn't have a huge in-person audience, but it was also being live streamed. And then, of course, it's available as a video, or it will be soon for the entire world to watch if they choose, if I'm so lucky. I said something, kind of off the cuff in my talk, because I really was keeping it alive and not spontaneous necessarily, but I was in the moment, and I said a line kind of differently, and then I blanked. I had no idea where I was in my talk, and I had like it was probably all of 10 seconds. But I had a moment where I was like, what do I do? I walk off the stage? Do I look up and say, I thank you? That was my 30-second talk. And then I said a few lines that actually make kind of sense when I saw the replay. And then I used my slides I jumped ahead in my slides, which helped me sort of realize, I have to backtrack now to get to this part. And I found my way back and I found my way through. And that is life, y'all. That is life. When we put ourselves on the line and actually step in through that door and into that world that's calling to us, which me being a public speaker and a motivational speaker and a keynote speaker is very much calling to me. This stuff happens. We forget what we're saying. We go blank. We become a deer in headlights. We get afraid. And the great thing is it lasts momentarily and we find our way through. And I just want to say, the power of self-permission, that was the name of my talk. And it's okay, because when you own that you're a human being doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, that aren't familiar to you, that you're gaining competency in, you're capable of doing whatever you set out to do, but we have to build our skill set and our competency, and we do that through hours of practice. And so when you start your own podcast, when you become a keynote speaker, when you start a new business, when you become a mother or father, when you take on a new role that you haven't done a lot of, there's going to be bumps in the road. And the sooner you embrace that there will be bumps in the road, there will be moments of sheer terror, of truly not knowing what you're doing or what to do. If you just pause and be in that terror for a moment, just let it be as one of the many multitudes of emotions that exist inside you, that moment will pass. This too shall pass. Because in my talk, I talk about like when we realize we're the container for all of our thoughts and all of our feelings, all of our beliefs about ourselves and the world. We're the container of all of those various pieces and parts of ourselves. You can start to let the littler parts of us, the fear, the insecurity, the feeling like we're a fraud, the feeling that we're vulnerable or incapable, inadequate, not enough, not good enough, not this enough, not too much of that. You can let those parts of you exist. There's no real getting rid of them. That's not the job here. They showed up and developed over time for reasons. Let them be there. They don't have to take over. They're just a little piece of the whole of you. And let them live in your shadow and add richness to the depth of you and humanity to your light and essence that you bring forth. Be that person that's afraid and bold and courageous. Be the person who feels insecure and walks through that door anyways, goes up and introduces yourself to somebody anyways. Be the shy person who'd rather crawl under a rock and speak up in a crowd anyways. Follow the nudges inside you that know how to move your life forward, because you do know what you want deep inside, and you know how to honor what you need, and you really do know what the next step is to move your life forward, and the next step. And it's just one step at a time. Just move yourself one step closer to your goals and dreams. And that is it, friends. Life does not always feel comfortable. I know we just went through an election cycle that was so uncomfortable. So for so many of us, I would argue the entire country, because no one knew which way it was going to go, arguably. And I think a lot of people were surprised, and I think a lot of people were relieved, and a lot of people were heartbroken. And I just want to say, be the person you want to be right now. Don't succumb to the story, the conclusions that are so easy to draw when we're in a state of heightened emotion, fear, worry, anxiety, disappointment, panic. The storylines can unravel pretty quickly, and we can go down that rabbit hole. Be with your emotions, take care of what you're feeling, and choose to be the person you want to be in the world right now. I doubt that is somebody who's full of hate, who's full of fear, who's full of distrust, who's full of victimization. Don't be that. You can be with your emotions and be disappointed or be elated, wherever you're sitting right now. Be the person that chooses to connect always, because we're just fellow human beings. And as soon as we can pull down that veil of us versus them, and when we can rid ourselves of the divide, of the judgment that we have toward humanity, we start with ourselves and we stop judging ourselves, and we start accepting the feelings that are in there, stopping those storylines that want to spiral into deep, drastic conclusions, and see if we can just have acceptance for the whole human experience that we're all going through right now. I would argue that everybody is seeking safety and security. And that looks a lot different to the multitudes that are in our country. But if we're all seeking the same end goal, then maybe there's a way to connect with that part of all of us inside that wants to feel secure, wants to feel safe. And you guys, there are many ways through. Okay, so please don't define yourself or reduce yourself right now by a result, a political result. Please don't. Take each moment as they come, step into your power, address what you can control, surrender to what you have no control over right now, and then do what you can to be part of the solution for yourself, for your fellow human beings. Be part of the solution and connect. Just connect. All right, more later. I love you. I believe in you. I see you. I feel you. I hear you. I know you. I am you. And thank you for being part of my life and for part of this Open That Door community. And you got this. Give yourself permission to be that container for everything that's going on inside you, and meet what's going on around you as the person you truly want to be. Till next week, open that door, friends. Keep opening it to a life and livelihood you love. You deserve it.